Good morning. I'm already almost to work today. Running kind of late. I had to air up my tires of the cold. Another rough night with the kidneys. I must have got up like 5 or 6 times. I'm going to have to work on that. You know, the natural therapeutics way of healing the kidneys and the liver is to fast. Now, you can't fast forever. But intermittent fasting and being careful about which foods you choose to eat can help. And the reason for that is the longer you go without eating, the more your kidneys have a chance to repair themselves. You've only got so much energy in a certain time period. So if you're wasting that energy on stuffing yourself and digesting food, or stressing and working hard at some sort of project, or fighting with your spouse, or worrying about the world politics, what else? I don't know, anything, sex, exercise, not getting enough sleep, these kinds of things take away energy from your body healing itself. And as you get older, this is much more important than when you're younger. I think when kids are younger, they're allowed to kind of do whatever to kind of burn off some of their extra energy so they give their parents a break to rest. But as you get older, you need to understand that doesn't work. You got to slow down. So I'm going to be trying to eat very clean today, get my nutrition in first thing this morning, and by afternoon try to quit eating this afternoon and give my kidneys a break. I've been trying to do that all week, and I've been getting a little bit better each day, but it's kind of hard to go from one extreme to the other, and really you shouldn't do that as you age either. Alright, let's shift this back into hospice. So as you age, your body breaks down more and grows less, replenishes itself less. So it's very common as you age that your bad habits and patterns of behavior or eating will start to catch up with you. And to some degree, your body gets kind of numb to it as things break down. It doesn't react as strongly. So for example, a person may lose their sense of thirst and dehydrate themselves more. Well, that's hard on their entire body, but they won't notice it as much until they overdo it one day, and then they have some sort of a problem like a severe headache, or they get a UTI or something like that, and they start, oh yeah, I got to drink water. That's already happened to me. I tend to work too hard, and then I get dehydrated, and I end up having like electrolyte imbalances or whatever. So you got to be careful of that as you age. But specifically in nursing homes, this is quite a common problem. UTIs are very common because nursing home patients don't think to drink, and the CNAs are supposed to remind them and refill their waters regularly, but they, you're talking about CNAs that have 30 patients, or for 2 CNAs is the minimum, and of those patients, you'll have ones that are extremely loud or very demanding, and they'll be calling on you all the time to come help them, and it makes it difficult. Not only that, but you've got other things you're supposed to do besides that. It makes it difficult in an 8-hour period or 12-hour shift to get all that done. Inevitably you have to skip things, and you're not supposed to. The state's really big on that. So you've got this, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Your supervisors are demanding that you fill out the paperwork and document that you got all these things done, even if you didn't, but they won't tell you that. But if you don't do it, you have to stay until you do it. But they don't want you working overtime. It's ridiculous. And then at the same time, you've got all these patients you're trying to take care of. So basically what happens, you're playing a game of whack-a-mole, and you're trying to deal with the most urgent and important things, and you just kind of wing it through the day. Well, firefighting was very, very similar to that. Firefighting was managed chaos. So you pull up on an emergency scene and it's, 9 times out of 10 out of control, and you're trying to get it under control. So you've got a general plan, but you kind of wing it as you go, because there's always things that pop up and cause problems. Well, it's the same thing as you age. Now, the important part of fasting is to be able to give your body a break to clean out all the damage that you've done. It needs to break down all the cells that are damaged and not functioning properly, and reutilize, break down some of the proteins that are also damaged. This will help prevent Alzheimer's, which is basically a cluster of broken down proteins that aren't working right, and it kind of snowballs out of control. It's the same with diabetes and heart disease and all these other things too, cancer. So as you age, you need to fast more. Well, here again, in the nursing home setting or in home health care setting, when you've got people who don't know this or don't understand it, they will try to force feed their relatives. Well, in some cases, they really do need to be eaten, even though they don't feel like it. And that could be caused, again, by low thiamine, vitamin and mineral imbalances can screw up your body's system of knowing when you want to eat and when you don't. That's true with people who are obese, and it's true with people who are, getting anorexic. So there's a happy medium here. I don't want to just make everything a blanket statement, but it's something worth considering. It's not going to hurt your family member too much in most cases to fast on a regular basis. If they don't feel like eating, you maybe shouldn't shove it down their throat. Give their body a chance to recover and heal. Of course, when you get to the advanced stages, then I don't know, fasting's not really a good idea, because the more muscle mass you have, the better off you are, and if you fast too much, it just wastes you away. Bottom line, though, at some point you have to accept reality, and that is that you can't make yourself live forever no matter what you do. And so then it becomes a quality of life issue. And this goes to what I was getting ready to tell you about, which was the end of life. So when you get to the point where you're so frail that you don't want to eat and you don't want to drink, and you're kind of a vegetable in bed, and it's very difficult for you, and you're in a lot of pain and suffering, it's not necessarily a bad thing to accept your situation and pray to God for mercy, and fast, pray, and rest, and maybe not eat so much, but keep drinking. You need your moisture to keep yourself flushed out and comfortable, and just allow nature to take its course. Of course, the kind thing to do for hospice patients in those last days and hours is to give them some morphine to take the edge off. You don't want to knock them out so that they're out of it completely, but you want to make it so that they can sleep and rest, and so still interact when they need to or want to. You can rouse them and talk to them. Because what will happen is when they pass away, if you've been stuffing these people full of food and they're near death, on their deathbed, what happens is when they die, well, not only that, okay, before I get to that, because this sounds kind of selfish of me to say, and I don't mean it that way, you're making them miserable, even more miserable, because their body can't handle all that food, so it's just rotting in their gut, and they're rotting from the inside out. And it's a horrible thing to watch. And then what I was getting ready to say is the aftermath. When they pass away, all that evacuates. So when I first became a CNA, a memory that I will never forget, I cleaned a lot of dead bodies, but that's part of the job. But this one lady, I still remember her name, she had been eating like a teenager, and she wasn't fat, she was thin, but she passed away. And when she passed away, she evacuated her bowels. and it formed a pond in between her legs from her crotch down to her ankles. And it was a pond of sludge and mucus, and it was horrible. And if I think about it too long, it makes me sick because I can still kind of remember it. So, and that was like 30-40 years ago. So you'll make it a lot easier on yourself as a family member if you, and your loved one, if you don't stuff them full of food when they're dying. Of course, after they're dead, it doesn't matter to them so much, but it will matter to you. I spent like an hour at least trying to clean that lady. It was very difficult. I had to hold my breath, go in the room, do some cleaning, because I couldn't control my gag reflex. All right, so I'm at work. I'm going to go. Pray for me, a sinner. God bless. Over and out.